Today I am going to show you how to change a battery without watching YouTube first. So here is my battery. It's kind of got some corrosion on it. It's not starting up in the morning, so I'm going to change it. Let's see if I can set my camera down without it falling into the engine bay and getting lost forever. Just kidding, I'm just going to pause it. So I looked up online. I went to Walmart.com, went through the car specs, and it told me to get this guy in 26R. Do you suppose that means it's good? So this is kind of this big. The one I currently have is just a little bit bigger, but maybe it'll work. So what you'll need to get is some socket wrenches for that, because that is holding, oh dear, I'm so bad at this. This is holding the battery down. It's being held on by these bolts, so they need to come up. You also need them for the bolts that are holding the clamps down on the nips. So I have my nurse ratchet here. She's gonna help me take these off. And again, without looking, I'm gonna assume that it's a 10 millimeter because that's the universal size for like everything. Alright, so I got the little clamps off the nips. I'm unable to unscrew that out of the way because of this tight spot. So I was able to get that not all the way off. I'm just gonna have to lift the strap bar a little bit, finagle this out. You'll want to be careful with, so I put one end of the clamps over here and then this clamp end over here. You want to be careful with those because, you know, this could hurt you if you get shocked, or you also have to make sure to put the clamps back on them in the right order, or else there could be a chance of electrical shock and, you know, hurt you that way. These batteries are pretty strong. You want to be safe. Make sure there's no, you know, like water around or anything. Easy peasy. Pumpkin squeezy. Holy cow. The guys down at the labs decided these would be better if they weighed like 50 pounds and then fit into a tiny hole underneath some stuff in your car. At least it's not a Buick thing where the battery's underneath the passenger seat. My homies will get that one. Just kidding, I'm sorry. I should have just not included that. So after some finagling, I found out that this front part can come out a little bit. It made retrieval a little bit easier. And I was also obviously able to get the bracket off the top. I just used my fingers to get the one from between the nooks and grannies. Also, check this out. 2018, that's when this was bought. Six years. I think that's when I got the car. Ooh. Okay, so this one, thankfully, is not as heavy. It's got a handle. Whoever thought of putting a handle on a battery? Okay, so these nips are covered with these plastic doohickeys. Oh yeah, don't get that mixed up. I'll take those off once it's in there so I don't risk my clamps touching a good battery. So there's so much room in there. Like, look at that. That thing's that big. This thing is, never mind. So I took this one off first because it didn't have all this extra cables on it. So I'm gonna put this one back on first and then this one back on. Also, don't forget the thing that holds it down. I realized that these inside the nuts, this is the ground. So this new battery isn't as tall as the last one. So there's a gap between the bracket and the battery. And I thought that that wasn't going to be an issue until now, because this thing, it was like resting on top of the diode at this height, and that's just what height it's at. And so I have to push it down to reach. And I don't know if you can hear this, but when I, obviously, because I told you before, it's live and it kind of sparks a little bit. Not sparks, but you know, it's making electrical noises. I'm gonna have to hold it down and screw it on so it stays put. Dang it, dang, dang, dang. That's what you get for buying a $69 battery. But it's okay. It's not a bad battery, it's just cheap.